Well, Tamara Cincik is founder and CEO of the fashion industry think tank Fashion Roundtable, and is with me to reflect on an extraordinary life, extraordinary career. We saw some of the images and heard some of the tributes there, but what do you think her legacy will be?
Thank you for having me on to talk about Vivienne Westwood. I think as a pioneer, someone who brought that disruption from the heart of the 70s, from the punk aesthetic, right into the 21st century. And those values were really at the core of her business and how she saw the world, but also how she managed to create such a successful brand, taking ideas from history and then thinking them through. She was very much an intellectual and putting that across everything that she did.
And looking on from the outside, obviously, there always seemed to be a kind of thread of integrity to everything that she was doing, staying true to what she wanted to do, whatever that was.
I'd agree with you on that. She never sold shares in her business to conglomerates. She was very clear that she wanted to run her business latterly with her husband, Andreas, and it was very much a 24/7 business that was really part of her activism. So the fashion aspect of her work was really an aspect of how she was being creative, but it was part of a wider climate activism, human rights activism. She was very much an activist.
Interesting. And I believe you met her. What was she like in person?
She was very thoughtful, quite quiet. She was definitely someone that took things very seriously, but had also an irreverence about her. She was very charming, and it was an honour to meet her. I met her. I was invited to an after party with her in Paris, and it was just a few people, like 10 people, and it was really lovely to be with her.
Interesting. You mentioned her.
The V&A thing, sorry. Sure. The V&A retrospective, I was invited to the opening of that, and that was a fantastic exhibition and something that I'm sure will be shared widely online.
And interesting, I just wanted to go back. Well, you mentioned the activism before, and it's interesting that was such a big part of her life, and obviously and who she was, and because of who she was and the success in her industry means A, people would listen, and B, she could bring people on board.
Completely, and also having that kind of DIY punk aesthetic from the beginning of her career, it meant that when she did things, she did them with energy and in a fresh way, so that it wasn't just activism for activism's sake. It was really, really thought through, and she would be educating people and taking them on her journey. And equally, it attracted like-minded people or outsiders towards her and the brand, but then to learn from her. And I think that's something that we can all gain an idea of how to inform people. It's not always with a stick. It can be with informing them by, as you say, by having a brand, and then being able to inform your customer, but also inform the wider population.
Interesting. And we're almost out of time. We're almost at the end of our programme. I just wanted to finish with one thought on how the fashion industry works, I suppose. Will her designs and creativity live on in other designers paying tribute to her in some way?
I mean, I think it would be impossible for us to not see the threads of what she does in lots of new designers that have come through London Fashion Week. Matty Bovan, for instance, is definitely someone who I see as part of that legacy. I think that DIY aspect is always going to be called to London Fashion Week, and I'm sure she'll be celebrated for years to come.
Brilliant stuff, brilliantly put. Thank you so much, Tamara Cincik. Really appreciate you for your time and coming on the programme and your reflections. Thank you.